we are looking forward to, and indeed we shall have a great meeting. A lot of work has been put together to plan for our meeting this evening. And I'm confident that it will be rewarding for all of us. We are all seeking greatness in leadership. Kindly confirm if you can hear me.
We can hear you, Mr. President, though faintly. I don't know if you can increase your volume.
Okay. Better now? Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I was just saying that we are looking to have a great meeting and sure that we will have a rewarding meeting for all of us as we seek to become better leaders and better communicators. I would like to appreciate all the guests present and during the session, this session that we had with SAA just when we were about to start, we had some guests. I would like to give a chance to any one of our guests to open their mic, say how they got to know about business dialogues and about this meeting. If you don't mind, just open your mic and go ahead and introduce yourself. You don't mind? Let me see if I have a guest that. A guest. Yes, Mary Chege. If you don't mind, you can open your mic, say how you got to know about business dialogues and about today's meeting. Okay. Okay, Mary, welcome, Mary. We hope that we can still be able to hear you at one point and indeed want to appreciate your effort to join us if you are a guest. This evening, we have arranged for an entrepreneur's thematic meeting and build towards our leadership. To take us through this meeting or to pilot this flight this evening is a Toastmaster of the evening, otherwise in other situations called an MC. Our Toastmaster of the day tonight will be Faith Mbushi Wanjiko. Faith is a development actor and she is passionate about serving the underrepresented, marginalized, and vulnerable. She has to herself 7 years of work in generating impact, impacting girls' education, and working with marginalized communities. Faith says that she would want to become a better leader so that she can be able to bring more impact to whoever that she's working with in the development sector. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, let us welcome with some load of applause Faith Mbushi to take us through the meeting this evening. Welcome, Faith.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Welcome to Business Dialogues, Toastmasters meeting number 76, where leaders are made. Today's theme is leadership and decision-making, the art of decision-making, strategies for business leaders. If I mention the names that I'm about to mention, I know you have heard them. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Satya Nadella. I'm sure you're not surprised that these are the names that, are business leaders today. Incidentally, most of them are technology companies leaders. So we're going to start with a small trivia. Write down on the chart the name of the company that Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Satya Nadella, the names they represent, the name of the company they represent. Also write down what you like about their personality, what you like about their character traits that makes them leaders today. I'm going to share my slides today to guide us and introduce the topic of the day. Mr. SAA, please let me know when you can see, if you can see my slides.
I can see your slides and I can see my photo. So that means it must be visible.
Wonderful. So as I said, today's topic is the art of decision-making, leadership, and decision-making. In this room, we're all leaders, and it is the leader's job to make decisions. From deciding when to pursue a new venture to adding or laying off staff. But how do we know that the decisions we are making are good? What exactly are good decision-making skills? I want to present to you 4 strategies that I believe make a good leader or a good decision-making leader. Data-driven decision-making, strategic decision-making, collaborative decision-making, and decision-making that drives innovation through risk-taking. Decision-making is both an art and a science. It requires a balance of analytical rigor, human collaboration, and long-term vision and boldness. Today, we're going to dig deeper into these 4 strategies and how they help leaders navigate very complex circumstances, adapt to change, and drive success. Beginning with data-driven decisions. Data has the power to help leaders make informed and objective choices. Today, we're going to look at a case study of Starbucks. Starbucks make and sell coffee, and they leverage data for decision-making. The second approach is strategic thinking. Developing a long-term mindset to achieve sustainable success. We will look at a leader called Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Jeff will be teaching us how to focus on customer needs, embracing patience, also aligning short-term actions with far-reaching goals. We will then look at Microsoft's Satya Nadella. Mr. Nadella values collaborative decision-making. He joined Microsoft in 2014 when Microsoft was struggling. And we'll be learning from him how inclusivity and innovation leads to well-rounded decisions. We will then look at somewhat controversial leader, Elon Musk, who is bold and he dares to break the mold. We will look at how his transformational potential of boldness and visionary leadership allows us to make sound decisions for our business. So today, as Toastmaster of the day, my role is simple. It's to ensure a smooth flow of the meeting, to introduce our speakers, our evaluators, and all the role players. Our meeting will consist of 3 key components. We will have prepared speeches. Those are for the people that will be making speeches. We will then have constructive feedback on those speeches, what we call the evaluation section. We will then go into session reports, which will be led by our general evaluator. Each part of this meeting provides an opportunity for all of us to learn, to grow, to support one another on our speaking and leadership journeys. After each of these sessions, I will share some of the approaches that I've talked about today about leaders in business and how to make better decisions. So I will get into introducing the team that will help me run this meeting. Starting with the timer, Mr. Joe Mukoko. Welcome.
Point of
Please
order.
Yes?
The timer is Joseph Kimodo.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry. Thank you for that. Okay, beginning with Mr. Joseph Kimotho. Mr. Joseph Kimotho is a team leader in enterprise development and financial inclusion. His leadership style is democratic and sometimes situational. I asked him this question: what's the most difficult decision he's ever had to make as a leader? And what was the outcome of that decision? He told me letting go of a hefty program funding whose subclauses were not aligning with the cultural setting in Kenya. Welcome, Mr. Kimotho, and tell us about your role as a timer.
Yes, indeed, very, very painful to let go of a project just because of a sub-clause that is not consistent with the values of the people who I was implementing a project in. Greetings, Madam Toastmaster, this evening. Greetings, Toastmasters, greetings, guests. As a timer, I will be in charge of keeping a record of the time within our sessions. I will time the table topics, the speakers, the formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green. Allow me to project these. Using the green. There you are. And using the yellow, they will be displaying on the background like that. And the red cards there you go. They will be displaying like that. I will time the table topics speakers who should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. For our speeches, organized speeches, which will be between 5 and 7 minutes in length, I will raise the red card at 5 minutes, raise the yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes. The evaluations will take between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. I want to wish all the speakers all the best and looking forward to great collaboration, and we'll be happy to give a report at the end of the meeting or when called upon. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kimotho. So I just want to remind us that timekeeping isn't just about minutes ticking away. It's about orchestrating moments, maximizing experiences, and ensuring that every second contributes to a memorable and impactful event. Thank you so much. I would now like to invite you, Joe Mukoko, sorry about earlier, our grammarian for the day. I asked Joe Mukoko the same question about the most difficult decision he's ever had to make. And he said, having to fire my relatives who were underperforming at workplace. There were fireworks in this village. But he ended up having so much peace and reorganized his business. Joe Mukoko is a co-founder and also a servant leader. Welcome, Joe Mukoko.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day and fellow Toastmasters and guests. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening careful to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and I'll give the grammarian's report when called upon, and also report on the usage of the word. And our word of the day today, drum rolling. Account has not yet come, right? I hope I didn't say Our word of the day is progressively, meaning happening or developing gradually in stages. It implies a step-by-step advancement, a movement forward that builds upon previous steps. We are talking about leadership. The examples of usage: we can progressively improve our speech delivery by taking up different roles in a Toastmasters meeting. Business Dialogues Toastmasters Club is a rollicking club where learning is pursued with felicity, progressively advancing from one level to another. I encourage you to use the word of the day today and in your daily activities. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mukoko, the grammarian. At Business Dialogue, we believe that good grammar is a cornerstone of effective communication, shaping not just words, but perceptions and relationships, and the very essence of clarity in our interactions. I would now like to introduce the R counter. The R counter of the day is Madame Martina Gar. She's a senior accountant. She's also a counselor and a wellness coach, and her leadership style is transformational. When I asked her about her most difficult decision, she talked about being a counselor, she needed to scale up into private practice and not just remaining small and individualized. This decision resulted into a broader client base and also the ability to provide service to more people. Her decision made her an entrepreneur. Welcome, Madame Gar.
Good evening, Toastmasters. My name is Martina Gar, and today I'll be listening to your speeches. Those are the speakers in the room, and I'll be noting and recording the overused words like and, so, but, and also the filler sounds. These filler sounds are used to actually buy time, or as the speaker think of the next word to say. So these filler words are used to fill the pauses, and they're like and at the end of the session, I'll be giving a report when given an opportunity to do so. I want to wish all the speakers a wonderful session, and back to you, Toastmasters of the Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madame Gar. I would now like to introduce the Hack Master of the Day, Miss Soraya Mutungi. Miss Soraya Mutungi is a marketing assistant. She is undergoing her internship, some training there. And she's an aspiring head of marketing. Wow. Her leadership style is democratic. She believes that team input is important and team morale should be boosted, and inspires and motivates employees to achieve high performance. About a difficult decision, she said that as an aspiring leader, she relies on her manager to make these decisions, but she plays her part in voicing her concerns. She looks forward to making these difficult decisions in future. Welcome, Mr. Welcome, Ms. Soraya Mutungi, and tell us about your Hack Master role.
Thank you, TMOD. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. My role as Hackmaster is to listen keenly, is to test your listening skills at the end of the meeting. I trust that you will be attentive and listen keenly to every speaker of the evening as the meeting unfolds progressively. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Soraya Mutungi. I would now like to introduce our general evaluator, Mr. Samson Makoduol. Mr. Makoduol is a legal and business consultant. He is a transformational leader. When I asked him about the most difficult decision, he said, what has been difficult for him is taking on definitive leadership positions. He thinks of himself as an ad hoc leader. He steps into particular situations when they call for it and helps to craft a solution, and then disappears in the same plume of smoke that he appeared in. He concedes that he easily gets bored and distracted and always looking for a new challenge. He says that some may say it is a commitment issue. They may be right. After all, he is well into his 40s and remains a serial bachelor. Then again, isn't that a commitment to resolutely stay single and unattached? Well, we can't wait to hear from you, Mr. Makoduol. Please tell us about your role.
Thank you, Madam TMOD. And yes, I do believe it is a commitment to remain firmly single. On to my role. Just as every consumer-centric business is mindful of quality assurance, Toastmasters is cognizant of the value and benefits of quality delivery. As your general evaluator, think of me tonight as the quality assurance manager. My responsibility is to ensure the conduct of the entire meeting today meets and exceeds the expectation of members and guests, and ultimately enhances and enriches the club members' experience. In this regard, I will weigh and measure the execution of various role takers against established parameters and deliver a report at the end of this meeting. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Makoduol, and we are so happy to have you here. Yes, thank you. Give me just a second. I will share my screen and take you through one of the approaches of decision-making that we talked about. SAA, please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. So I would like to talk about Starbucks. A lot of you enjoy cups, loads and loads of cups of coffee. But did you know that Starbucks is a data-driven company? Data-driven decisions, they harness the power of data to make informed choices. And Starbucks is one of those. What happens when data science and machine learning are harnessed to drive business decisions? So one of the approaches that Starbucks use is called customer behavior. So Starbucks have a mobile app that has 17 million subscribers. And through this app, they have a comprehensive data set of, they do 90 million transactions a week, and they have 25,000 stores. This allows them to understand user interactions with their products. For example, they're able to tell the time of purchase, the amount spent, the product preference. This mobile app also collects demographic dynamics like age, gender, the income. It also collects engagement with offers. Who is engaging with the buy one, get one free? Who is engaging with discount offers? And then they use AI to give them insights into customer decisions. And they have found out over time that demographics like income and age and duration of the offer they make an impact on how well an offer does or who is buying more. And one of the things they found out is that females are on the higher income bracket, and so they buy more of the product. So what's the impact of this data-driven decision making? The marketing is personalized. They offer specific customers marketing strategies based on their consumption patterns. So as I said, women are highest earners. They give discount offers to them, and they also give special discount on their birthday. So they also use data to segment the customers and target them. And if they've noticed, like, you haven't come to their store in a while, they will write you an email and ask you to visit and even entice you with offers. Data is also used to determine their new store locations, and this directly impacts their company's bottom line. So as a leader and a decision maker, using data for decision making is one approach. I would like to introduce the first evaluator, who will come and introduce the speaker. Allow me to introduce Ms. Caroline Cahoreria, who is an accountant and the Vice President Public Relations in Georgia Toastmasters. One of the difficult decisions she's had to make was when she was a treasurer of a ladies' charmer merry-go-round, and she was the youngest in this group. The members were allowed to select the months in which they wanted to receive their payouts. However, a conflict arose when multiple members chose the same amount. To resolve this issue, she introduced a balloting system, which everyone accepted without dispute. Welcome, Ms. Cahoreria.
Thank you, our TMOD. Am I audible enough? Okay. I took this role because my goal is to progressively improve on giving feedback as an evaluator. I'm here to introduce Catherine Mate. Catherine Mate? She is pursuing her path in presentation mastery, and she will be attempting her first project in level 1, project 3. That is Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance her speech. She requested me to check on 2 things. That is body movement and vocal variety. This is including pace, tone, pitch, and volume. Her speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. And her speech title is Sunday Best. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to invite Catherine Mate. Catherine Mate, Sunday Best. Catherine Mate, Sunday Best, Catherine Mate. The mic is yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Toastmaster Caroline. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. What does Sunday Best mean to all of you? Comment on the chat section. What do you remember as your Sunday Best? You never get a second chance to make a good first impression. I learned that growing up in a Catholic family. My mother would prepare for Sunday Mass on Saturday. We would always prepare our clothes, prepare what needed to be done, from our shoes to our rosaries on our necks, and we had bags. So we'd always prepare for Mass on Saturday, so that come Sunday, we are able to keep time. On Sunday morning, we would quickly prepare ourselves, take breakfast, and go to church. And being the first time in the church, we would always see the priest say hi. We would be among the first people in church, seated on the first pew. Remember the dresses we would wear back then? What did they have? Staircases. would wear very nice, long, white, sparkling stockings for Sunday. There you play with those clothes after church, and your mother would have you singing. And I remember our memories growing up. That was our culture. We prepared for Mass. Fast forward to my entrepreneurial journey. There are certain things that I've learned and habits that I've cultivated along the way, taught from way back when I was a child. Preparation makes all the difference. I'm sure some of you in your entrepreneurial journey would be able to tell that. There are 3 habits that I've cultivated in my entrepreneurial journey. 10 years to date, I have been in an investment advisory and consultant. The first has been knowledge. Are you aware of the industry that you're in? Are you an expert in the industry that you're in? Are you a jack of all trades and a master of none? Do you know what industry clients are looking? Do you have the need? Do you want to solve a problem? And does your business solve that problem with a solution? Or are you just offering a service like any other Tom, Dick, and Harry in the city? What do you know about your clients? Are you aware that we're in the season of Ramadan? And what does that mean for your Muslim clients? That connects you with the client on a level not everyone will connect. Are you aware that we Catholics are going through Lent? And there are certain etiquette or certain things that you must do during this period. So when you go to the next meeting of a client and you engage them on that personal level, don't you think you'll get the business? Food for thought. My second point that I've learned along the way, progressive steps in my entrepreneurial journey, is grooming. How well you look, how well you present yourself, how prepared are you for a meeting? From your appearance to your confidence, that sets you apart when you're doing a business pitch. Your audience is able to be captivated, not just by your appearance, but how you appear. You stand tall and you stand confident with what you're about to say. My third and final point is time. Time is a finite resource, and we all have the same time, but we all use it differently. A day has 24 hours, but for some, they seem to stretch the 24 hours. Let me give you 2 scenarios. I have walked into a meeting. I quickly come in and I look for a seat. Excuse me, is that chair taken? Excuse me, you're late for a meeting and you want to start disturbing everyone to excuse you for a seat. So by the time you start presenting, you're already tired and you're sweating, you're flustered, and the microphone is given to you and you don't know what to say. You keep asking the MC, what do I say? Because you don't know. The same scenario. I walk in. Hi, my name is Catherine Mata, and I'm going to talk to you about investments and how you can grow your money progressively. Among the 2 speakers, who sounds more confident? You be the judge. A quote by Lao Tao, a Chinese philosopher. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. So as you progress on your entrepreneurial journey, what are some of the little habits that are self-sabotaging your successful journey on leadership? What are some of the things? Time, is that an issue for you? If you ever get into a meeting and the first thing you do is apologize, already your confidence has been chipped away. So what are the things that we prepare for? Over to you, Toastmaster. Let us learn to be progressive in our Toastmasters journey. Thank you.
A round of applause to speaker number 1, Catherine Mate. Yes, thank you. Thank you for those claps. If you're brave enough, please unmute and let's give her her flowers. She's talked about confidence while speaking and given us this quote: watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. Thank you for asking us to watch our habits, because they become who we are. I would now like to invite the second evaluator, Madam Pascalia Maingi, who's a business owner, and her leadership style is transformational leadership. She said her most difficult decisions involves inculcating emotions in decision-making. And this has led to people taking advantage of the situation and to the overall detriment of these decisions. Madam Pascalia, please introduce speaker number 2. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be evaluating Toastmaster Benta Owino's speech presentation. Benta will be delivering a speech from her elective project, Level 3, Project 3. The purpose of her speech is for Toastmaster Benta to deliver a speech that inspires her audience, and also to be able to inspire us and draw us to her speech. I will be on the lookout to see how she engages and how she interacts with the audience through her speech. Within 5 to 7 minutes, Toastmaster Benta will enthrall us with her inspiring speech titled, Arise. Benta Owino, arise. Arise, Benta Owino. Take it away.
Thank you, and good evening, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, my fellow esteemed Toastmasters, and guests who are visiting Business Dialogue Toastmasters Club tonight. Rise. I say, rise again. For a moment, I'd like you to imagine waking up one morning to learn that your key client, sometimes called the cash cow, for whom you have relied on for years, is pulling out. I imagine that the news would hit very hard. I also imagine, but I'm also aware that suddenly your strategy, your financial and emotional investment, indeed, your future, suddenly becomes uncertain. While you're imagining, I think in that moment, you may feel the ground beneath you shift dramatically. As I'm calling you to imagine, let me say this. I've been there. In the year 2017, the Americans voted in a new president. And with the coming of that new president, a lot of programs globally experienced a sudden cut to their funding. That had ramifications for businesses and employment. Yours faithfully here stood jobless. Not imagining that the ground was shifting, but it was actually shifting right before me. And I saw total darkness. I saw stars. It was shocking. For quite some time, I would say 2 months, I felt like I was the star in a movie. Would you help me by proposing what could have been a possible title for that movie in which I was starring? Please give a title that reflects the immensity of the matter. Probably we could title the movie, Who Wants to Be Unemployed? Or Who Wants to Be Confused? The rug was pulled from right under me. A budding professional, confident, contributing to the economy. Here I was, left wondering every morning, what now? The only certainty I woke up to every day was bleakness and the heavy feeling of failure. And you can imagine, we of this gender go through such emotions with real tears. So yours faithfully cried. Many nights and many mornings, I curled up in my bedroom and I cried, utterly defeated. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, the undeniable truth is that setbacks are not dead ends. Setbacks such as the one I experienced in 2017 by a political regime change are powerful invitations. They are powerful invitations to do what? To rise again, to dust ourselves, to pivot, and to discover the strengths that for a long time might be lying underutilized. I say that because in January 2018, after I had run away to that very country that was occasionally detained to try anew, I woke up that January morning and I made a deliberate choice. I would not let that job loss define me. I pushed my very willpower and I shook it off and I said, I'm going to start again, despair or not. And so I rolled up my sleeves, took a pen and paper, begin to assess my skills and document them. I began to map my network afresh. And I made a decision that with my skills and with my network, I was going to move forward. I was going to rise again from that curled up girl in bed, bowling every morning, that even though the path was unclear, I would rise again. The journey was not easy. There were days when fear really threatened me. I can confess here tonight. There were days when I felt petrified. I felt like a small girl. But I had learned a skill earlier. It's called the power of daily affirmation. And so I decided every morning I would affirm myself. I would wake up, I would dress up, and I would say to myself, Aloch, every obstacle is an opportunity to do what? To rise. This is the year 2025, 7 years down the line. As I stand before you today, I can confidently say that I am not just surviving. That one decision I made to rise has led me into a place of thriving. I have learned that adversity that once threatened to break my future have actually done a great thing. It has fueled my journey. Dear Toastmasters, tonight I want to tell you, I want to invite you, I want to inspire you who may be feeling a major change in your life is going to break you or to destroy you or to dismantle your business. On the contrary, 3 principles have taken me from the place of crime and loss to a place of thriving. It may sound repetitive, but repetition is key. I want to call on us tonight to adapt with agility. Most of us here run businesses. We are founders. We run enterprises. Businesses like life don't wait for you to find your footing in a nice office. So neither does failure. Change is constant. And so we must learn to survive the change. And I know for sure that the best business models are not built out of stability or built for stability. They are constructed for change. I want to inspire us tonight to be so agile that the business models we are developing are constructed for change, because change did fashion me into a different person. The second challenge and the second principle is to build resilience as a strategy. In fact, present day scholars are telling us don't just be resilient, be pre-resilient, because you need to be transforming all the time. Be prepared for the very worst. The strongest leaders arise after failure. I'm not the very best of the world, but I know that I rose after failure. I know that I am not immune. So every single time we sit with my team to strategize, we are building resilience. We are becoming capable of overcoming the very toughest obstacles, some of which happen suddenly. That's number 2. Number 3, and I want to relate this to what my fellow Toastmaster Faith shared, being grounded in faith. Why were they going to church in their Sunday best? Faith. Faith is the cornerstone for great rising. I know it is debatable, but as for me, I chose to believe unshakably. I choose to believe today unshakably. I choose to see beyond what I can see. As I work with my teams, I purposely nurture them in faith so that they can overcome challenges beyond which no human can actually fashion. Fellow Toastmasters, tonight, rise. Rise again. Progressively rise. Rise up to your vision. Most importantly, rise up to face an uncertain future. Rise up to any obstacles that come in your path. And if at this point your business is experiencing a downtime, shake the despair, rise again. Rise progressively. Over to you, Madam TMOD. Thank you.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. What an emotional and apt speech. Toastmaster Benta Awino. History is indeed repeating itself in 2025. There are many organizations who can relate that the cash cow is being pulled right under their feet and they need to rise again. Thank you for those principles to adapt with agility. And now I would like to invite our last speaker, who will be introduced by Toastmaster Gladys Muhunyo. Toastmaster Gladys Muhunyo is the VPM at Juja Toastmasters. She's a past district director, an avid public speaker, and a mentor. Her work title is Organizational Development Specialist. She is a consultant, and her leadership style is altruistic. Altruistic. Please put it in the chat if you know the meaning of that. When I asked her the difficult decision she has ever made, she said she had to fundraise for a corrective center, but the outcome was that she had to return the funds to the donors, which was heartbreaking. Over to you, Miss Muhunyo.
Good evening, TMOD. Confirm you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. It is indeed a pleasure to see how progressive Business Dialogues Toastmasters Club has become since inception. It is my humble duty to contribute to the growth of Gladwell Mwiti, the president of Juja Toastmasters Club, in her path of visionary communication. This evening, Gladwell is presenting a Project 1 under level 2 for leadership styles. In this project, she will be presenting a primary style of leadership, either the style or holistically about leadership styles. Gladwell Mwiti, the hidden power of what you say and what you don't say. The hidden power of what you say and what you don't say, Gladwell Mwiti.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I hope you can hear me. And I'll start by asking you this question. Are you a leader or a manager? Take time and relook into it and identify if you're really a leader or a manager. As I take up this project today, it's good to point out that this is the second time that I repeat this project. And as a leader, the reason I'm mentioning this is because I did this project, was evaluated, and requested to repeat the same exact projects. And guess what? Just a month ago, I did my club officer training, and it was suggested that it is not good to encourage your club members to repeat their speeches. But guess what? As Gladwell, I chose to repeat this project because as a leader, I would like to grow. And I say this, I am a leader and not a manager. Management and leadership are two sides of the same coin. Let me show you this. If anyone can see and read, where is my camera? Can you read it? It's from Toastmasters. And on the other side, it reads our core values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We can only attain excellence if we are ready to get corrected and do it again and again until we get it right. Now, this coin was given to me by the current district director, DTM Robert Karanja. The last time I did this presentation, he was in the meeting, but he confessed he doesn't remember that he gave me this coin. But guess what? I do remember. And it left a mark in my mind and in my heart. Meaning DTM Karanja is a leader. He acted and gave me this coin because of something that I did. And this was an encouragement to me. Then I was very new in Toastmasters. I had not led. The club had not chattered. And I was actually just doing my icebreaker. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership focuses on motivation of employees and making, sorry, give me a minute, please. I'm using my phone. Thank you for your patience. Leadership is about motivation of either employees of the team that you're leading and making them believe in the vision and setting the right culture. Now, here we go. This is the toughest part of this project, that I am supposed to talk about my leadership style. How does that feel for you as a person when you stand up and are speaking about yourself? This is how it feels for me. Like maybe I'm stripping myself naked, telling you everything I think about myself. Or at the same time, it would feel like a show off. But here we are. This is our journey and we're talking about leadership. So Gladwell as a leader, my leadership journey, and coincidentally, this is what we are talking about today. This is what the Toastmaster of the day is talking about. Gladwell as a leader, I am the president of Juja Toastmasters Club. So here, this is a social background. I choose to be a democratic leader. And what do? I ensure involvement of the team members and ensure that they have high productivity and ensure the team is satisfied. I allow the others to lead sometimes, and I try to work with consensus, convincing them this is the way we want to go. That is a social environment. Now, let's look at Gladwell as an entrepreneur. Gladwell as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurial journey, and many of you will agree with me, is baptism by fire. We get there and all we are thinking about is how to make the money. Do we sit back to reevaluate ourselves first? No, we go out to try and make money by all means. What style then do we use there? At times, you allow your employees to be innovative, giving them the idea of the laissez-faire leadership style, where this is a French phrase, which means to let do. Do we have the time to coach our employees and let them grow? We are encouraging ourselves. If you're a leader and want to grow and want your vision, you want to reach your vision, you have to do that. That is by identifying what are the qualities of the people that I have. Am I growing them? Remember, this is a vision. For you to get there, it means that it can be done with or without you. It is quite tough, but that is where we are. This is the other one and the final one. I am a leader in the church. I sit in the parochial council. This is the most difficult one, where we sit and have to do servant leadership. Here we take care of the needs of the team members. We have to do active listening. We have to grow the community, doesn't matter what. It has to be the ethical approach. We better lead to serve others. And this is always reminded to us. So I leave this with you. What kind of a leader are you? Have you identified your leadership style? It's time for you to sit back and try and do that. Remember this as I finish. Understanding your personal strengths and preferences can help you adjust your leadership style to be effective in varied environments with different individuals and teams. This flexibility makes leading others and achieving desired outcomes possible regardless of the situation. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, wow, wow. Congratulations, Gladwell Witty. You are a multidimensional leader, a club president, an entrepreneur, a church leader, a parochial council member. Well done. And we want to congratulate you on your growth journey of leadership. Thank you so much for coming to Toastmasters Business Dialogues, Toastmasters, and sharing with us your leadership style. Now, allow me to go back to the conversation that we started earlier. I am sharing my screen. SAA, please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. Oh, I can see your screen. The others could confirm using the chat space.
Wonderful. All right, so back to decision-making and leadership. We're going to learn about strategic thinking and strategic decision-making. And this means developing a long-term mindset to achieve sustainable success. We look at Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, and what he's going to teach us about focusing on the customer, embracing patience, and aligning short-term actions with far-reaching goals. So Jeff Bezos believes in offering long-term value. He comes into the company prioritizing growth over short-term profits. He's a leader that also prioritizes strategic patience, meaning he has more confidence in customer satisfaction regardless of the current market pressures. The other thing that he does very well is building ecosystems. If you have used Amazon and Kindle and Prime, all those products that are given by Amazon are interconnected, and they offer a customer a unified experience. And for Amazon, this has been a difficult thing for competitors to replicate. The last thing he does is think about the customer-first philosophy, placing the customer at the center of decision-making. He has implemented activities like same-day delivery, which work for many customers. So what is the impact of all that decision-making that is strategic? It means that Amazon is now a leading online retailer, accounting for 37.6% of the market share in the United States of America. Amazon also generated $638 billion in net sales in 2024. And so another lesson about decision-making we are learning is from a leader called Satya Nadella from Microsoft. When I was doing my research, I wasn't sure about including all these tech leaders, but then they are the most inspiring when you Google leadership and decision-making. So for Nadella, he's an Indian American engineer who joined Microsoft in 2014 when it was perceived not to be doing well. It had stagnated, there was uncertainty. And he immediately pivoted into cloud computing, AI, and productivity solution. And recently in 2016, they bought LinkedIn. Initially, the company was known for competitiveness, internal contentious culture, which hindered collaboration and innovation. And when Satya Nadella, who has worked there for the longest time, since 2002, he came in, he introduced empathy, employees feeling heard and valued, increasing understanding and valuing other people's perspective. He also introduced a growth mindset, which is the opposite of a fixed mindset, which is a belief that there can be continuous learning among employees and innovation and experimentation. Natya also believes that best solutions come from collective intelligence and reduce the siloed approaches of working that were previously at Microsoft. And this led to cross-functional teams breaking the silos and collaborating. Microsoft's team is a product of his leadership. And the impact is that 93% of the employees are satisfied. This also directly impacts the company's bottom line. Now, I would like to shift this meeting a little bit and invite Joe Mukoko for the polls.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Kindly confirm that you can see my screen. We had 3 speakers for the day. I have launched the poll. Catherine Mate, Benta Aluoch, and Gladwell Muiti. Catherine Mate, Benta Aluoch, Gladwell Muiti. Oh yes, let's vote. Let's go. Let's load. We are almost there. Good, good. Almost there. Polls will be closing in the next 15 seconds. Closing in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, and well done to all our very able speakers. I would like to invite the general evaluator. And at Business Dialogue, we believe that evaluation isn't just about measuring progress. It's the compass that guides us towards improvement, the mirror reflecting our strengths and the roadmap to achieving excellence. I'd like to hand over to the general evaluator, who will invite our role takers to give their reports.
Point of order, TMOD. Point of order.
Yes. Yes.
We have the Hackmasters session,
Master.
which was to
Yes.
go next after the
All
polls.
right. All right. Thank you so much for that. All right. Thank you. So I would like to invite the Hackmaster, Soraya Mutungi.
Good evening, everyone. I'll pose a series of questions to you guys, and then feel free to unmute and answer. There are 3 leaders that our TMOD Faith mentioned when she was starting off the meeting. Who are the 3 leaders she mentioned? Yes, Samson.
I believe it was in reverse: Elon Musk, Satya Nadella, and Jeff Bezos.
Yes. What is today's theme? That's an easy one, guys. Anyone? Or should I choose?
Art of decision making.
Yes, thank you, Brian. What are the 4 strategies for business leaders? Pascalia, you can name one.
I'm sorry, I'm busy trying to prepare the evaluation report. Could you please pass it on to someone else? Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Caroline? Okay, Lewis? Lewis Mwangi? Irene? No one remembers? Okay.
Let me put you out of your misery. I believe,
Okay, thank
talking
you.
about data-driven decisions, I think there was strategic decisions. There was one that I call transformational, but I think it's decisions on that involve risk. I think it's something to do with transformational decision making. And the last one was collaborative decision making.
Correct. I think the one that you were trying to remember was driving innovation through risk taking. Okay, the next, what was the title of Catherine's speech? Joseph, Mr. President.
Sunday best.
Pardon?
Sunday best.
Yes. And when would Catherine's mom prepare for Mass? On what day of the week? Anyone?
Saturday evening.
Yes. Habits that Catherine cultivated in her entrepreneurial journey. There were 3. Joe?
One was embracing preparation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe I can answer that. There were 3. There was knowledge, time, and grooming. What was the speech of Benta's title? What was the title of Benta's speech? That's an easy one.
Rise again.
Yes. What did Benta say? Which year did Benta move to a different country? Anyone? Okay, I can answer that.
Is it 2017?
No,
Yeah.
2018. Faith has put it in the chat, 2018. And what words did Benta tell herself every day to encourage herself?
Every obstacle.
Yes, every obstacle is an opportunity to rise. What leader does our third speaker, Gladwell, choose to be? Anyone? She said she chooses to be a democratic leader. Do we still have time? for more questions?
Yes, you do.
Okay. What was the Chinese philosophy that our first speaker, Catherine, alluded to? It was a quote. Yes, Faith.
It was by Lao Tao. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Watch your character, because it becomes your destiny.
Yes, thank you. And to my final question, what did the dresses, what did Catherine allude to in what the dresses had? The dresses I used to wear to go to mass.
Staircases.
Yes. Okay, thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Soraya Mutungi. I don't know how you would rate us. Yeah.
Not very well. I don't remember most of the things.
Okay. Thank you so much, Soraya Mutungi, over the meeting. Evaluator, well, Samson.
Thank you very much, Madam TMOD. At Toastmasters, we love to say that feedback is the breakfast of champions. A rather cheeky fellow Toastmaster from Thika Toastmasters says that Thika is the supper of warriors. So I don't know if that's an evening phrase. Give it some thought, but I think he has something quite going there, in as much as most of us thought it was a big joke the first time he mentioned it. Moving on swiftly, we shall get into our first feedback session, which shall be feedback from the speech evaluators with respect to the delivered speeches. And I will call upon our first evaluator, who is Caroline Cahoreria, to give us an evaluation of Catherine Matte's speech. Caroline Cahoreria.
Thank you so much, our GE. Before I progress, I would like to request our timer. How many minutes did Catherine use?
Catherine used 5 minutes, 59 seconds.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm here to evaluate Catherine's speech. Catherine had asked me to look on two things, and that is body movement and vocal variety. Her speech length was 5 to 7 minutes. First of all, thank you so much, Catherine, for, I'm speaking as a millennial, for taking us down the memory lane. And your speech was within time. You excelled at that. Your language was clear and you are easily understood. Your camera was well set and we could see you clearly. You are comfortable and you even demonstrated on how well we look while grooming, while we groom. What I would want you to challenge yourself, what you might want to work on, I felt that you are a little bit too fast when you are delivering your speech. You might want to work on your pace. Like when you said, what do you know about your clients? You could have paused a little bit to allow your audience to internalize the question before moving on. What I would want you to challenge yourself on as you progress forward with your speeches, I would want you to improve on your pitch and tone variation Overall, your speech was well structured. You had an opening, a body, and a closing. Congratulations, Catherine, and you may progress to your next project. Thank you, our GE. Back to you, our GE.
Thank you very much, Caroline Kaureria. I was just trying to think of how I can insert the word progressively as I progress with this GE evaluation report, but I just figured just say it that way and it shall be recognized. I shall now call for our second evaluation, which will be delivered by, I do apologize, I didn't get the name on my notes. I believe it's being delivered by Pascalia Mange. Pascalia Mange evaluating Benta Aloche's speech. Take the stage for us, please, Pascalia.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator of the Day. Could I know from the timer how much time Benta took?
Benta took 9 minutes, 50 seconds, and 66 microseconds.
Thank you very much. A great speech, we are told, is a gift that a speaker gives to their audience. And tonight, Benta, you did absolutely that. Did you inspire your audience? Absolutely. And did you engage and interact with your audience effectively? Let's find out. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to highlight 3 key things that stood out for me from Benta's presentation tonight. Her core message, for one. Benta intertwined her message with her entire speech, addressing the issues which are currently affecting the audience and the pain that they could be going through in their businesses or their places of work. And in so doing, she also gave us solutions and how we are able to work through them. Secondly, the use of personal anecdote. Stories, we are told, are the currency of human contact. Benta, you connected with us directly as you used a personal story to help us know how we can be able to move from the ashes and be able to grow and become excellent in that which we go through using your own personal experience. And thirdly, I enjoyed your use of gestures. You used your beautiful smile, your sustained eye contact, and you synchronized that with calculated hand gestures, enabling us to be able to communicate with you as you took us through your speech. Now, let's talk about what I felt that you could have done to make your speech presentation even better. First of all, pauses. Pauses are key in giving a speech. Pauses are used as a way of engaging and connecting with your audience. For example, you asked us a question and you asked us, would you help me in giving a title to my movie? But you did not give us time to give you a title. We just went on. Secondly, your use of the virtual space. You had a bit of constrained movement. Your stage is your playing field, and it's important for you to be able to use it effectively, to be able to draw your audience even through the transitions. And lastly, time management. I would urge you moving forward to be able to practice more with your mentor to help you to be able to avoid another scenario like today. So, going forward, your core message, your use of anecdote, and your use of gestures were outstanding. Work on your pauses, your use of the virtual space, and your time management. And I believe that we will see you conquering new frontiers. Back to you, the General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pascalia, for that very detailed and perspicacious evaluation. I will quickly now move to our final evaluator, very good friend of mine from Juja Toastmasters, Gladys Muhonyo, who will also be evaluating a very good friend of mine from Juja Toastmasters, Gladwell Witty. Gladys Muhonyo, please proceed with your evaluation.
Thank you, our General Evaluator, Toastmasters and guests. Every opportunity to speak is an opportunity for leadership, whereas every opportunity to make a precise decision to repeat a speech, Applying feedback from your previous speaker is a progressive journey of clear leadership. Congratulations, President Gladwell Mwiti, for taking on that bold step in your journey. Concise, contextual, confidence gave us the sizzle of your leadership journey. You are a leader and not a manager. In this project, you achieved your speech objectives by applying the feedback you got from your previous evaluator or focusing more on your leadership styles and not the leadership styles in general. In addition, your audience engagement, the visual coin that you gave us in the speech, and your comfort level surely show that you are a progressive speaker. I'm particularly noted the use of 3 leadership styles, 3 areas of application. The power of 3 is a strong way to bring home your message to various people. Allow me to point an area of growth on challenge. I particularly love a statement in Project 1 called a specific purpose statement. Especially when you choose an informational kind of speech, you're telling us about your leadership style. Have a repeat statement, a specific purpose statement that leaves members to know exactly what you wanted us to tell. I would pick, I am a leader, not a manager, as your repeat statement. We could have said in transition 3 or 4 times in your speech. Another area of growth I would challenge you is to move from an information speech to a persuasive speech or a motivational speech. A lot of time platform speakers tell us, I would encourage you to show us by drawing us into the story of the DTM Karanja giving you a coin. Show us how you navigated the journey of your social leadership. When you show us, you persuade us. When you motivate us, you give us an example of a leader that you aspire to be, a democratic leader that you can be. In peroration, I would like to encourage you to go forth and challenge yourself to move from an information storyteller to a persuasive and motivational storyteller with a specific purpose statement. I also want to encourage you to continue using the power of 3 to be concise, contextual, and always confident in your delivery. Toastmaster Gladwell Mwiti, you may proceed to your next speech, and I encourage you to motivate another leader in your journey. Thank you, Toastmaster General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Gladys Mohunya, for that very exuberant and enthusiastic evaluation. I wonder, Madam TMOD, if I would take charge to call for the polls, so for us to vote for the best evaluator, or will this come at a later stage?
Yes, please go ahead and call for the polls.
So, Mr. SAA, hoping this is not an ambush, perhaps you could run the polls. I believe, then as our members think, our first evaluator was Carol Kahoreria, who was evaluating the speech by Catherine Mate. Our second evaluator was Pascalia Maingi, who was evaluating the speech by Benta Oluoch. And our third rather boisterous evaluator was Gladys Muhonyo, who was evaluating the speech by Gladwell Mwiti. I hope my adjective there will not influence anybody. That just slipped out of my mouth. I believe all evaluators acquitted themselves very well. Perhaps just because Gladys was the last one that lingered on my mind. So no biases here. There's no Kiambu connection as a Thika Toastmaster supporting a Juja Toastmaster. So how much time do we have to go before I can now delve?
Almost there. 15 seconds.
Remember, vote objectively. Don't be necessarily influenced by how good they were a speaker, but perhaps how discerning they were as an evaluator. In itself, voting is a leadership skill because it calls upon you to evaluate an evaluator. You are the super evaluator in this case. Are we quite done, Joe?
Yes, closing in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to you, our general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. Before I can get into my detailed report as to how we have conducted ourselves through this meeting, it is incumbent upon me to call upon a few reports where some of the role takers, they do typically called the TAG team, can give us a report of how we have performed across various sectors. To kick us off, I will call upon our R counter to give us the R counter report. R counter.
Good evening, General Evaluator. Thank
Good
you
evening.
once again for this opportunity. First of all, I want to congratulate all the speakers in the House. They did so well, and I almost got nothing to record. But for my work to be complete, I was left with something. So I will give you the report as follows. We have speaker one, that is Catherine Mate. Catherine used and 4 times, and so 5 times. Congratulations, Catherine. I know progressively you're going to improve on the same. We move to speaker 2, that is Benta. Benta, you did so well. Congratulations. I only got 2 items from you. That is so and but, which were repeated 3 times each. Congratulations. We move to speaker 3, that is Gladwell. Gladwell, congratulations. You did so well. I got 2 items as well. You used and repeatedly 5 times and but 2 times. The other person we are moving to is Gladys, that is the 3rd evaluator. I got 3 N's from that 3rd evaluator. And I want to congratulate all the speakers. Maybe what you can do, the next time you're speaking, you can replace N, M with a pause. So I want you to accept the pauses. Also, you can, sorry for that. I believe that is all for tonight. Once again, congratulations to the speakers. Back
Thank
to
you
you,
very
General
much.
Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Madam Accountant, for that report. And allow me to report that I at least picked up 2 crutch words, and I, from our accountant. Not too bad for a 2-minute delivery. I shall swiftly move on to our grammarian of the day, Joe Mukoko, to give us his report.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. The word of the day was or it still is progressively, and has been used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times. Once by Evaluator Caroline, once by our timer Joseph Kimodo, thrice by Speaker 1 Catherine Mate, once by Speaker 2 Benta, once by Gladys Muhunyo, twice by our General Evaluator, once by Martina Gar. Thank you very much for indulging me and progressively using the word as the meeting progressed. Very few areas of correction, areas of improvement. When we use a foreign language during the meeting, we need to be able to elaborate. For example, chama, we can say club. Secondly, let us try and check on our tenses. Past and present tenses were mixed. Speaker should have said I began to instead of I begin to. The meeting had a lot of descriptive and colorful language. For example, the general evaluator will weigh and measure various roles and their impact to the meeting. Dresses with staircases, cultivation of habits. Shifting ground beneath one's feet. Certainty was bleakness. Setbacks are powerful invitations to rise again. Adapt with agility. Faith is the cornerstone of great rising. Entrepreneurship is baptism by fire. Stories are the currency of human connections. Thank you very much, our general evaluator. I shall give a detailed report to the club secretary. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Joe Mukoko, for that report. We shall look forward to your written report appreciating that the grammarian role is usually a challenging one and calls for quite an adaptness to be able to execute it well. I shall call for the timer's report, whom I shall request to give us a report of where we are up to now. Then I will also call you back once I finish my report, because I too need to be held accountable as to how I have managed my time. So over to you, Joseph Kimotho. President Joseph Kimotho.
Thank you very much, our general evaluator, this evening, progressively doing great. We are at 7:38. Our end time is 8 p.m. Our general evaluation report should have been coming at 7:20 p.m. You'd wish to continue, or I read out the rest of the report?
Perhaps you can just give us some overview of whatever you have in terms of the key role takers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Which has already been called out.
All right. Thank you very much. I have taken a note of the time taken. I have given for the arranged speeches. Catherine Matet taking 5 minutes, 59 seconds. Benta Wino took 9 minutes, 50 seconds and 66. Gladwell Meti took 7 minutes, 31 seconds and 19 micro. Our Hackmaster had an allocation of 10 minutes, took 5 minutes, 54 seconds. For evaluations, Caroline Cahoreria took 2 minutes, 32 seconds. Pascal Maingi took 2 minutes, 53 seconds. Gladys Mohunyo took 3 minutes and 5 seconds. I must apologize to our evaluators for harassing you with the cards. You had an allocation of 4 minutes, but I took the old time 3-minute trend. Sorry for that. For reports, our counter has taken 2 minutes, 22. I had 2 minutes. Grammarian had 4 minutes, but has taken 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Well done on timekeeping, and overall, we have lost some time in some transitions at the introduction point and also at transitioning from the prepared speeches to the Hackmaster, where we have lost a total of 30 minutes. Thank you very much, and back to you, our general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Joseph Kimotho. As you've mentioned, we're running behind time. I know I'd been allocated a generous 10 minutes. I was very excited about that. I'll try and truncate that, but I will ask members and guests in attendance to indulge us a bit. We might run over the meeting by about 5 minutes. So let's get on to it. This was an excellent meeting. It was my first opportunity to attend Business Dialogue meeting. And as a prologue, I was by no means disappointed. The quality of the meeting reflected its name. I felt like I was walking into a meeting of businessmen, leaders, and that's exactly how it came out. Pre-meeting was handled very well. There's a very good WhatsApp engagement. The WhatsApp platform was used effectively to be able to draw in role takers, explain to role takers what their roles are about, and generally excite and generate excitement around the upcoming meeting. The word of the day was shared well in time, and members had an opportunity to exercise it. The agenda was adjusted properly and effectively, such that well before the meeting, we had a clear set out agenda. The meeting room was open when I joined at 6:45 p.m., and members and role takers were given a proper opportunity to test their equipment. The business section of the meeting was conducted very well. I was particularly impressed by the Sergeant at Arms for how he well articulated and displayed the rules of the meeting, which I felt on the whole was observed, save for allow me to say, the one rule that we keep imploring at all online meetings is for as many people as possible to have their videos on. This is particularly critical for audience engagement. When people speak, and especially speakers, they derive satisfaction from audience reaction. Sometimes they're able to understand whether their message is landing by being able to read from the audience. And even as leaders, it is important for us to observe the etiquette rules of any meeting. So I'll encourage each and every one of us to always have their videos on. It might be an issue of that challenge, so allow me to introduce to you a 50 shilling bundle from Safaricom that allows you to use 1.5 GB for 3 hours, which I have used at every Toastmasters meeting and has enabled me to communicate effectively with my video on without interruptions. So check it out, *544#. I'm not sure about the Airtime one, Airtel one, or Telcom one, but I'm sure I'll include it in my report. Moving on to the main side of the business, our Toastmaster of the day acquitted herself very well, well-spoken, articulate, eloquent, charming, with a smile to keep us sparkling throughout this cold, chilly evening all around Nairobi and Tigoni. I believe that you chose a very appropriate theme of the day. It's one that we could relate to. It's one that fits within the precepts of the club, and we're able to learn a great deal out of you. Divided the theme into 4 very specific points that we could take away home. Our decision-making styles divided across data-driven, strategic, collaborative, and innovative. You also explained your role as TMOD very well. You gave a very good exposition of the nature of the meeting so that any member or any guest who attends the meeting knows what to expect out of this meeting. I would say though, be mindful of your transitions, especially when moving from speaker to speaker or section to section. And I'll address this in the timers report. But I would say that quite a bit of the chunk of the time that we lost came because either you did not factor in how much information you had as you transitioned between sections, and that took quite a bit of a chunk. I will turn around back to that towards the end of my speech. On the overall, impressive job, well-informed, and there were very many key takeaways from what you did. For our speakers, I believe you've had and received the commentary from your various evaluators. Congratulations for your delivery. I would encourage you to follow up with your evaluators for a deeper analysis. 3 to 4 minutes sometimes is not sufficient. And I would also encourage you to possibly consider your evaluator being a secondary mentor for your next speech, just for you to make sure that you're able to inculcate some of the lessons that you've been given and ensure that you progressively grow throughout your pathway. Turning on to the evaluators, I think we had some very good experienced evaluators on board who emulated the precepts that are articulated by Toastmasters manuals that we're to follow when giving evaluations. I just want to remind us all that evaluation, and I like to say this, is more about feedback than positive or constructive criticism. I always find the word criticism has a negative connotation. So we must always be careful because this hinges on the language. So always try and use the word I recommend, because you're constantly suggesting for the possible consideration of the recipient of information data that they would use to enrich and diversify. So always try and use encouraging, positive language, appreciating that people have different opinions and different ideas. So recommend, suggest, perhaps avoid what you could do better, in as much as that is part of the languaging. I'd also encourage us to listen carefully. And one of the things I was not able to pick from evaluators was for me to evaluate whether you are following the speech. And I could only do that by looking at your video cameras. I want to see whether you're following the speech properly all through, whether you're reacting. You'll find most speakers tend to speak to the evaluator more than anybody else. When it comes to acknowledging the strong points and the areas of improvement, I believe all of you identified what the strong points were, but you were giving us headlines, right? So you talk about, you identified these 3 things that you did, you use stories and everything, but tie it. If somebody used stories, remind us of how they use that personal story. What story did they tell us for us to really accept that? If you're saying you need to improve on your pitch and your tone, give us an illustration. I think in one of the cases, there's a person who's talking and saying that she came to a meeting late and she's saying, excuse me, excuse me. That's not an opportunity for that person to use a whispering voice. So when do you whisper? When could she have whispered? When could she have gone louder? At what stage of the speech should have used a faster speech, a faster pitch, a faster rate, sorry, or a higher pitch and a lower pitch? So let's just be mindful that even as we acknowledge those things, specific examples are given because that goes to the credibility, and the speaker will only be able to ingest that if she feels that you have addressed those things in particular. However, within the 3 minutes, I think you executed and executed your roles very well. Turning to our other role takers who gave the reports, I will always encourage, and I'm really trying to summarize this and I'll give a larger report, all speakers, all role takers, and especially the report role takers, to always introduce their roles in the form of a speech. We say as Toastmasters, every opportunity you get to speak is an opportunity to make a speech. So perhaps, Madam Accounter, you could indulge me. This is, for example, how you'd introduce your role as an accounter. Eloquence is a conveyor belt that seamlessly transmits the ideas conveyed in a speech from the speaker to the audience. In the pursuit of eloquence, we must eschew the practice of using crutch words and pause fillers. These are sounds and words that are used to fill pauses in our speech and are indicative of uncertainty, lack of confidence, or lack of content. Today, as your accounter, I'll be looking out for crutch words and pause fillers, which includes words such as are, am, like, you know, actually, I guess so, well. These words tend to be disruptive and undercut the credibility of the speakers. I encourage all our speakers today to avoid using crutch words and filler words, and at the end of this meeting, I shall give a report. So again, what you don't want and what we want to avoid as role takers is to just come and perfunctorily execute our roles. You want to use every time you get to speak as an opportunity to improve your speaking skills, even if it's for 1 minute, even if it's for 2 minutes. It's always towards the achievement and the progressive achievement of excellence. And I'll encourage the same of all people, including grammarians and timers, and I will give in my report examples of how you can use quotes and stories for the purposes of introducing your speech. Speaking of the various roles, I felt like today we missed an opportunity to engage in a very important role in Toastmasters, and that is the role of table topics. I think sometimes we get lost in the meat, as we tend to call it, of the meeting, which is the speeches and evaluations, and tend to treat these other roles as peripheral roles that are just there either for entertainment or just for purposes of filling the meeting. I really don't think so. I think the Toastmasters program has really thought this through and intentionally introduced those roles, understanding what role they play towards enhancing our leadership skills and our communication skills. Now we know the table topics role is critical towards developing our impromptu and extemporaneous speech skills. And this is particularly important for those of us, especially in business, to understand how we can deliver elevator speeches. You enter into an elevator, you're going to the 30th floor, a powerful CEO enters into the second floor. You have less than a minute or a minute to 2 minutes to pitch to ensure that you walk out of there with a business card. There are very few platforms upon which we can practice this. And therefore, I would encourage us to always make time for all these roles. I'm happy the Hackmaster role was there. It's an important role to ensure that we master our listening skills as speakers. The table topics role should also be included. And therefore, when setting the agenda, we should be mindful of this and allocate sufficient time. And this is why I come to the role of the TMOD, and I'll focus the final part of my report on this. I find that sometimes we've placed a heavy responsibility on the TMOD where we expect them to execute masterfully a deep, complex theme and a deep, articulate exposition of that theme. Forgetting that, and I suggest this for your suggestion, that the TMOD is not more than an MC. Its primary role is to navigate us through the meeting in an orderly and fashionable manner, ensuring seamless conduct of the meeting. And therefore, the theme of the day should be something that either creates a fun attitude, maybe an entertaining, informative one, but one that allows for the connection of threads between speakers, role takers to the end of the meeting. And therefore, what we saw today is because of that pressure, our TMOD felt the need to really be expansive. And if we were to condense all that she did into a speech, it's probably a 10 to 12 speech that was presented today. That is not a criticism to her particularly, but probably a practice that has gone on in Toastmasters, and that takes away from a lot of the other roles. So maybe as a club, maybe the VP needs to look at this. I could very be wrong, but let's be mindful and let's remind ourselves the role of the TMOD, arrange that along with all the other roles to ensure that each of them is given sufficient time. All in all, very excited to have been here today. I have so much more to say, which I will highlight in my report, but I thought those are some of the key ones that I will say in the event that some of you will not bother to read my rather long, but quite flirtatious report. And now I will go back to the timer so that I can see whether I am still good at managing time or have once again exceeded as I often want to do.
Thank you. Thank you very much, our general evaluator. You have excelled at keeping the time. You promised to keep it 10 minutes. You have taken 11 minutes, 31 seconds. You had an allocation of 15 minutes. You are within time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Timer, Joseph Kimotho. And now I'll hand back to TMOD for our closing remarks.
Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much for a wonderful report, Mr. General Evaluator. Now, I will not take much time. As a lot has been said, a lot has been learned. Allow me to completely go straight into my closing remarks to say that data-driven decision-making, using data in your business can lead to more informed decision-making. Precision in marketing, not grappling with the dark about the impact of your marketing strategy. Collaborative decision-making, empathy, making sure there's collective intelligence, collaborating with teams is important to make decisions that bring about impact. Strategic decision-making has been business leaders focus on sustainable growth rather than immediate gain is also very important. And finally, innovative risk-taking, as Elon Musk is a controversial leader right now, but she has been cultivating innovation, willing to take calculated risks in business and staying very involved in the technical and customer focused to meet and exceed customer expectations. Thank you very much for your time, and it has been a pleasure being your Toastmasters of the day. I will now hand over back to Mr. President. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let us give a loud of applause to our Toastmaster of the evening, Faith Mbushi. Very well done, Faith. Thank you very much for steering or piloting this flight number 76. And you have landed it so well. My work will be easy to just take care of the ground information and just putting the plane to a halt. I want to take this opportunity, besides thanking our Toastmaster of the evening, to just recognize all our role takers. Well done, well done. A clap for you, a lot of applause for you. You have made it happen. You have made this meeting happen, and you have also helped members, those who had prepared speeches, and to achieve their goals. You have been able to achieve your goals as well. I really thank you, our general evaluator, for giving very, very candid and solid feedback. Business dialogues must become better by this feedback. I specifically pick on the point of when we are introducing our role taking, that we take that in speech form. And I should be able to record that and appreciate that I have taken a speech. Thank you very much for that. Having done that, I want to invite our SAA to give us the results of the polls so that we can be able to recognize our better speaker of the evening and our better evaluator of the evening. SAA, you can kindly do this. SAA Joe, do you have the reports of the polls? Is he here? Okay.
Hello, Mr. President.
Yes, we can hear you now.
My network is failing. Let me just share the results. For the best speaker, can you see my screen? Kindly confirm you can see my screen.
We can see your
Yes.
screen. And our better speaker of the evening is Catherine Mate. Congratulations to you, Catherine. Let us give a hand to Catherine. Well done for excelling in your speech, and congratulations as well, Benta and Gladwell, for delivering your projects today.
The next poll was for the better evaluator. Kindly confirm you can see my screen, Mr. President.
I can see your screen, and our beta evaluator of the evening is Gladys Muhunyo. Gladys, congratulations and well done this evening at Business Dialogues for excelling at your role today and helping uh, Gladwell to complete her project and indeed gracing our evening. Congratulations, Pascalia. Thank you always for coming back and supporting at Business Dialogues. And to Caroline, thank you as well. You have done well this evening. So Gladys and Catherine, your certificates will be shared by our SAA. Thank you once again, everyone, for turning up for this meeting this evening, and specifically want to thank all our guests this evening. And I want to tell you one thing, that we love guests and we also love new members. You are welcome to join us at Business Dialogues, where we live the Toastmasters tagline of where leaders are made. You want to become a better leader? Join us, join Toastmasters. Thank you very much, Judy Joge. We are happy that you joined us. Thank you, Mary Chege. You let me know that you were off your machine at the time I called you. Thank you so much for joining us. Lewis Mwangi, Nancy, Dala, and probably I could give a chance to any one of you who would like to give us a feedback. What did you find in here at a Toastmasters evening that would interest you? Or what is a good takeaway you can take? You can share with us. Just open up your mic. If you don't mind, Judy or Lewis, open your mic and just give us some feedback. I hope
Mr.
that you
President, I can give a feedback.
Aha. All right. Our area director is here. Welcome, area director.
Yes, I'm a bit under the weather. I hope that I wasn't called at the time of the table topics. I was a bit off. There's nobody a tendency of me being called for table topics, but I've really, really enjoyed this meeting. Indeed, Business Dialogues is the home. Okay, I was almost saying the home of champions. It's where leaders are made. And yes, leaders are made here. These are entrepreneurs who have mastered the art of skillfully delivering their speeches and progressively making us understand what they are talking about in a simple, but again, in a very, very interesting manner. So thank you. I have loved the speakers. In fact, I was wondering, how do I vote? I got confused at that point. I got confused at the point of voting for the evaluators. Very, very well done. The role takers, you have done well. The GE crowned it all with a masterpiece of a report that I have never, ever heard such a GE's report. That was really rich. So thank you, Mr. Sam Makodwal. That was really good. I missed out on the table topics, but I really liked the entire arrangement and the professionalism with which you handle your meetings. Your meetings are really different. So when I joined with a colleague who perhaps I wanted him to join one of the clubs, and he loved and wanted him to join a club somewhere. But then he said, okay, I really want to join this club because you really, really delivered well, professionally and interestingly. So thank you. I have loved this meeting. And so your AD's report will really be excellent. Well done.
Wonderful. Let us give a hand to our AD, Area Director, Area 4, Division B, District 9212. We are happy that you joined us as well. Guest Irene Karoga, thank you very much as well for joining us, and Elizabeth Joroge, thank you very much. Kindly reach out to us. I have dropped an email address, hello at Business Dialogues. You can drop us an email, and we will make arrangement for you to join the club, as well as you can reach our VPE, our Vice President Education, Muna Abi. Our GE Samson, I can see your hand up.
I think there's a guest, Lewis Mwangi, who I know, who wanted to say something. It'd be interesting to hear from a guest because he had muted and
Wonderful.
muted. Lewis?
All right. Lewis, if you can unmute again.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can hear you very clearly.
Yes, I'm happy to see Sam here, and Sam speech was awesome. I'm happy to be here. I was recommended to come and attend the meeting. It is my first time to experience Toastmasters, and the way you express yourselves and deliver the information you want to deliver is awesome. I'd want to be part of you and grow my public speaking skill and take it to another level. So the way you are handling the meeting, be precise with time and all that, I'm very, very, very impressed. Yeah, that's all for me. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me here. And I'm glad. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lewis. Thank you even for the confidence of making a speech. Do you know that you have just made a speech at a Toastmasters meeting? Yes, this is where leaders are made. And if you want to progressively improve, become a better leader, better communicator, join Toastmasters, where you get to join others who are pursuing greatness. At Business Dialogues Toastmasters, we usually say we would like to inspire, to influence, and to elevate that leader in you and that communicator in you. You're most welcome. And in the interest of time, I can see that we are 5 minutes past time. I would like to really appreciate all of us. An announcement on renewal of our membership. We would like to interest all our members to renew our membership. As we close the month, we are getting into the new cycle, April to September. Kindly, we are called upon to pay our $80 to our accounts, and a flyer is being circulated to be able to instruct us on how to make sure that we pay our dues and continue enjoying the Toastmasters platform. I would also want to announce that our next meeting will be on the 26th of March. This will be an in-person meeting at the United Kenya Club, and we want to invite all of us. And because we need a person to steer that ship on that day, would like to interest any one of you who would like to be a Toastmaster of the day on 26th in our in-person meeting. Kindly reach out to us. You can reach out to us via our lounge, our friends page, and also even on the chat in our meeting today. I can see guest Mary Chege, your camera is on. Probably you want to say hi as we close today.
I can say hello and apologies that I did not respond earlier when you called me. As a business leader and an entrepreneur, you never let go of an opportunity, and that was an opportunity to be named. I'm also a progressive marketing professional and our coach who empowers future generations so that we can actually be able to build a better tomorrow. And I'm located in the United States of America. It's about 1 o'clock today, and I've been a guest speaker at SFA in Kenya. I'm a partner with the Founders Conversations. I was their guest speaker for 2 sessions in January. So I'm looking very soon to progressively be a guest also with Toastmasters and a member. And I heard about this from them.
Thank you very much, Mary Chege. We look forward to you joining us. You can still be able to deliver your speeches even from the United States.
Definitely. Thank you so
You
much.
have
And I
just made
enjoyed
a
today's
speech.
content. I enjoyed today's content. Thank you.
Welcome. And you have just made a speech at the Toastmasters Club. Welcome.
Thanks. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, has it not been a rewarding evening? It has been, I can confirm, and I want to appreciate again our Toastmaster of the evening for making this happening. Thank you for the nuggets. Thank you all role takers, and I want to declare this meeting number 76 at Business Dialogues Toastmasters adjourned, and see you again during our in-person meeting and probably in another Toastmasters club because we are a big community. Have a good evening and a blessed evening. Bye bye.